At the bottom of the control terminal synoptic, there are two tabs that list all of the wind turbine incidences. An incidence is a record of some important change or the occurrence of error conditions. To simulate a grid failure, find the Simulate Phase Failure checkboxes in the electrical panel and uncheck one of the boxes. In a few seconds, the undervoltage and grid phase failure incidences appear in the Open Incidences list of the control terminal synoptic. Click the Simulate Phase Fault checkbox again to restore the fault. This registers a date and timestamp that indicates the fault was recognized by the operator. This type of incidence must be acknowledged by the operator. To acknowledge an incidence, go to the Opened Incidences list in the control terminal and click the Acknowledgement checkbox. Once the incidence is acknowledged, it moves to the History of Incidences record and is given an end date and timestamp. To see a list of all incidences, click the History of Incidences tab in the control terminal. Let's simulate another fault. In this example, the operator acknowledges the incidence before the faulty condition is removed. When the faulty condition is removed, the incidence goes directly to the historical record. As another example of an incidence, let's examine the vibration sensor. Click the Tower Vibrations Off button in the control terminal synoptic. An open incidence is recorded and the button reads Tower Vibrations On. Click the button again to reverse the incidence. Since the tower vibrations occurred for more than a second, the incidence is passed into the historic log as acknowledged. The overspeed detectors for HCU or VCU are also incidences that the operator must acknowledge. There are some incidences that do not need an operator's acknowledgement. For example, let's take a look at the effect excessive wind speed has on the incidences list. In the wind nacelle synoptic, increase the wind speed until 3 incidences are generated. When the wind speed goes over 28 meters per second, the first incidence is reported and in a few seconds the turbine stops. This type of incidence does not need an acknowledgement from the operator. Watch to see what happens as the speed continues to rise. Next, let's see what happens as the wind speed begins to decrease. Notice that the incidences are passed into the historical log. Click the History tab. Notice that the wind speed reports do not have an acknowledgement date and timestamp. Rather, they are listed according to the time that the condition disappeared.